this about Soulja Boy. Y'all gotta give him a little bit of latitude because he a victim. And his been ran through quite a bit. They was playing tapes, and then the owner of the house pulled out Soulja Boy tapes. That's why he's always able to call other on being a swish. Birds of a feather flock together.
That in the closet is real scary, you know what I'm saying? So we got to get into the seriousness of it, and it's just not fair to, other people. And then that spreads because that girl that you might be fooling might leave you and go find another dude who ain't gay, give him the disease, and he go cheats on her.
I think that you've worked with a gay rapper.
Yeah, man. And gay, not being just full out gay, but hiding it, trying to pretend like he, loves girls and live the rap lifestyle, but really he's a man fan.
Want to say this about Soulja Boy. Y'all got to give him a little bit of latitude cause he a victim and he has been ran through quite a bit. They was playing tapes and then the owner of the house pulled out Soulja Boy tape. That's why he's always able to call other on being a Swiss birds of a feather flock together. That in the closet is real scary. You know what I'm saying? So we got to get into the seriousness of it, and it's just not fair to, other people, and then that spreads because that girl that you might be fooling might leave you and go find another dude who ain't gay, give him the disease, and he go cheats on. You think that you've worked with a gay rapper?
Yeah, man.
And gay, not being just full out gay, but hiding and trying to pretend like he, loves girls and live the rap lifestyle, but really he's a man fan. After a long break, Jagaur Wright is back again. And this time she is spilling all the tea about these DL rappers that claim to be straight, but had no problem letting Diddy tear their holes apart at those freak-off parties. Apparently, not only did the diddler have these rappers unable to walk from aggressively drilling them, but word on the street is he gave them some nasty STDs while at it, and HIV was one of them. Meek Mill, for example, hasn't been the same since he got his hole played with. Do y'all remember that video of him cooling his cheeks off in the pool while Diddy praised him for being a good boy toy? Jagaur has been exposing these DL rappers for a hot minute now, but these allegations about them catching HIV from Diddy is definitely new. One of the first times she spilled a tea about Diddy wrecking the holes of these celebrities was when she said Diddy's former lawyer told her she once walked in on Christopher Williams performing oral acts on Diddy in his office in exchange for a demo record deal. Christopher Williams, I don't know. I guess he wanted to sign. I don't know what happened, but Puff was supposed to be giving him a demo deal, and he gave him a demo deal, and I guess it was supposed to turn into an album deal, which that never happened. But this young woman walked in to get approval on some paperwork.
See?
And when she walked in, the door wasn't locked, so she didn't think twice about just walking in. And when she walked in, she saw a Christopher Williams performing full audio on Puff. Now, from what she said to me, it was disturbing because, they didn't stop. She just walked out, and she just kept her head down at the office the rest of the day. I believe it was. And I don't think it was at the end of business day that day, but I think it was the following day. He came into her office and was like, "Yeah, so you came in there. So what you going to do? You want to say something?" And she was like, "Oh, no. She was like, I just don't understand why you left the door unlocked. If you were in there doing that, why would you leave the door unlocked?" He said, "I'll do whatever I want to do in my building." And I just don't know. He was like, "It's power. See, I can make a man." He said, "If I can make a man suck I can make people do anything." Before this mess, no one was really checking to know if these rappers could possibly be DL Busta's former bodyguard. Came out with some wild allegations, saying that Buster used to pay large sums of money just to have gay men in his VIP section. All my promoter homies would always say, "Man, we got to bring some what they call them, I'm not going to say it on here. They call them a fun boys. They say we got to have some fun boys in the section for Buster, cause I guarded for Ghostface Killer before. You feel me? And being around him, you hear things, you feel me?" I'm like, damn. And my auntie, like the biggest Busta Rhymes fan, you feel me? Like every cookout, she playing it. All his little fast rapping, all of that. Him and Craig Mack playing that, bro. Oh my soul. I'm out with a group of people at this time. I was with a Don Benjamin. You familiar with him? No, I never heard of him. Model dude.
Like a model guy.
He was doing like some rapping and stuff. His name Don Benjamin. I'm out with Don Benjamin. And the club we ended up going to Busta Rhymes in there. So he got it was a little lawyer guy that was with us, and the little lawyer guy we was with, he was a gay dude. Super cool. Feel me? Good guy. Bro, Busta Rhymes wanted him in his section so bad. Like what? Pulled him to the section, like, threw the rope and tucked him off in the corner. So I'm looking like, well, he ain't come with us, but I know he was in the little group. So, if I go out with somebody like a group people, I try to make sure everybody get there together and leave together.
No, he stayed with them.
He stayed in there with them, bro. For sure, bro. I'm walking across the street and Busta Rhymes just grabbed my hand and he's shaking. He holding my hand. Now I ain't know it was Buster at first. You know Busta Rhymes tall. I'm sure I came up to about right here. So the first thing I noticed was this big flip mode chain that was blinding me. So I look at the chain, and I look up. I'm like, oh, what's up? Buster, what's up? Now he holding my hand the whole time. I'm like, what's up, man? He like, what you doing? And I was like, oh, me and my people, we about to go to this club around the corner. What's up, man? And then I noticed throughout my peripheral vision, the side eye, this big bodyguard in black, just standing there, looking around, looked at me, still looking around. Meanwhile, Buster still got my hand in his hand. And, he says, I'm about to go in this club. We got a section. You can come in with me if you want. And I'm like, what? For real? Like, that's what's up. Like, he was like, yeah. I was like, well, I got to, tell my people. I was like, I come in. You know what I'm saying? He was like, okay, just let me know. Tell them that you coming in there to meet with me and come on up. And I was like, bet. Now, going back to Jagaur, she also accused 50 Cent of hooking up with Soulja Boy back when Soulja was just starting his career. I don't know where she got this info from, but she was speaking very boldly with no allegedly in there. I want to say this about Soulja Boy. Y'all got to give him a little bit of latitude cause he a victim and he has been ran through quite a bit. They was playing tapes and then the owner of the house pulled out Soulja Boy tape. That's why he's always able to call other on being a Swiss birds of a feather flock together. But Jagaur Wright didn't end it there.
No, ma'am.
She also accused Diddy Will Smith of forcing Meek Mill and Briar Gray into what she called a gay freak-off. She even claimed that Will pulled Briar into a circle under the disguise of mentorship only for it to turn into something Bryce didn't want. Jagaur went so far as to say that at one point Bryce and Meek were heard screaming while running from Will's house after Will and Jada had allegedly played with their private parts during a freak-off. They're both bi, they do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mill's Bashia Gray left that house screaming. August the only one that stayed, and I guess he was really sick. He needed all. Now, when it comes to Meek, folks initially thought he was getting forced, but after a little investigation, people found out that he was getting his cheeks clapped because he wanted to. He was even named in one of the lawsuits against Diddy as someone Diddy allegedly hooked up with. To make matters worse, an audio clip started circulating online that some claim was Meek and Diddy together with Meek screaming in the background. There have also been speculations about Diddy and the Game doing something in the past after Game revealed that instead of him and Diddy working in the studio on their album, which never got released, Diddy was flying him out around the world, partying, buying him expensive gifts, and showering him with jewelry. People couldn't help but side-eye those trips, especially since they were usually going to Atlanta. And y'all know what folks say about men who constantly travel to Atlanta by themselves. After that, I start kicking it with Diddy, right? I ran around with Diddy for 2 years. Damn near. And this _ Diddy, we never went to the studio one time, but he was like, yo, I your demo, bad boy. Bad boy.
Hey, Playboy.
Hey, here go watch Playboy.
Go chain. Playboy.
I'm like, yo, we ever going to rap? He was like, no, I was doing. Yo, but the jet leaving at 5. We going to Miami, Playboy. We going to, you know what I'm saying? We going to New York. We in ATL this weekend, Playboy. Pop out.
Pop out.
And I was going everywhere with Diddy. Before you got with Dre, wasn't Puffy interested in working with you also? Yeah, Puff. I was running around with Puffa for a minute, but we was just partying, man. Puff liked to party. So that's basically all we did. I think the few times I was running around with D-Mac and Puff, we just did a bunch of partying. We might have went to the studio once or twice, but I don't think I didn't get to record nothing. I was just, okay. But I mean, Puffy was a huge deal back then. Still a huge, I mean, he's still a huge deal, but he's not doing music anymore, is what I'm saying. Back then, Bad Boy was on fire, and he's running around with you. Puffy's a busy guy. I was running around with him. Yeah, you were running around with him. Was he talking about signing you?